Today is October 26, 2023. The last couple days have been insane. I told you on Sunday, October 22nd, 23, in Target, they were saying how they have a hit on my life again. And they're asking somebody if they could take me out with a single bullet and stuff like that. Do you have a person to take her out with a single bullet? And stuff like that. All right. Go over to Kohl's. October 22nd, 23. There was a middle-aged couple. Went to Lisa. Looked her up, and it said it was a medication error made her sick before. And I asked Lisa, was she getting well for a while before she got all the way well? And said, yes. No, nobody thought anything when she finally got well. Because she was getting well for a while. But Strange said it, that she was faking. So they all believed it. Okay? So they hired those men to drug, beat, and rape her and do all those things to her. And she knew the ones she hired to do that to her were here killing other people. And the lady's like, if she knew they were killing other people, you better stay out of this. He said, I know, I found out her and David got a divorce, and they're mad at the woman he remarried. I bet she's 25, roundish, Filipino, not apostolic. I bet. He's living a drug lord life. Okay? Honeymoon in Tokyo, we could never afford that. Yeah. Yeah. Got a woman 40 years younger? I bet. See, okay, so that goes into October, 24th, 23. Big Lots. Some guys walk around on the phone in Big Lots. We all heard they got another hit on her life. We all know they tried to kill her before. You've taped him admitted that they photoshopped everything? Okay. And he walks out. Okay? Then, yesterday, on the 25th, this lady's around me, and she's like, we all know that Lisa confessed. And nobody finds any of this funny. Nobody will say a word to you or something like that. Nobody will say a word to you. We all know she confessed. Okay, so today, October 26, 23, I go up to Acme in North Canton. There's people for that serial rapist Pete. Okay? He's a serial rapist. They're in there and saying, Pete this and Pete that, rah, 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 rah. Bunch of drug cartel guys. Okay? Running their mouths. Alright? I go to work in Akron. There's a guy out there. He said, I looked her up. The case was them hiring people to kill her. Now they're hiring people to run around saying stuff to her. And now they're threatening her life again. And the police did witness that they have that girl's confession, that she hired those people to do these things. Nobody better say a word. Okay? That was up in Akron. You gonna arrest the dumb bitch? The psycho bitch? Psycho bitch? You gonna arrest the psycho bitch? You know, Strange, I told you, Strange, it's so ridiculous. It was a medication error. I swelled up like a balloon, almost died after having all those surgeries, went to the wrong doctors, a bunch of crackpots, gave me the wrong meds, and I almost died. I talked to 2 RN nurses on Wednesday, and they're like, as bad as you swelled up, you're lucky you didn't die. You're actually lucky you're all right. And I told them about that lie that he made up, and they're like, as if. Of course your muscles locked up. You had too much trauma done to your stomach and other muscles. And with all that swelling and everything shutting down, you're actually lucky to be alive. You're actually lucky to be all right. Okay? How long it took me to get well? You know, that's strange. He made up even a worse lie that I was supposed to stood up in the middle of the funeral and scream, God heal me. That never happened. I didn't get well till July. That kid got killed in an accident May 3rd. Well, you know, I sort of got my fentanyl patches refilled in June because I was still sick. So, sort of didn't happen, did it? They're all a bunch of liars. Now, we're going to go back to those agents. The way that they talked to me on that phone. Now, we're going to talk about roofies first. Roofies first. Now, all the sheriffs and other police officers, I've talked to them, we know about those roofies. Those date rape drugs are sleepwalking under somebody else's control with no memory. They know about them. Just like my coworker, Dar. She got roofied in a bar. She had a set of twins and one had died. She's grieving real hard. Her friends got a babysitter for the surviving one. Took her out for a friend's night out. Somebody had laced her drink before she got it. They're trying to give her space because she's sitting there grieving. She took her drink out of a drink, acted a little happy, but not out of the usual. Eventually, a group of people they didn't know came up and started talking to her. She's talking fine. She eventually leaves with them. She finds herself in a puddle of pee. Gets herself home, and when those things wear off, you're throwing up really bad. She was throwing up, dizzy, could hardly sit up. 2 months later, she found out she was pregnant again. She's arguing with the doctor, I've not had sex with anybody, how could I be pregnant? Said it's not that I don't love my son, but I don't know what happened to me. She said, I don't even remember meeting those people. They're date rape drugs, that's why they give them to you, so you don't know what they did to you. My neighbor Mike came up to me about 1.5 years ago. I got a problem. I don't know how I got home. I'm like, go sleep it off. He's like, you don't understand. I've been sitting there for hours. I said, what do you remember? The second beer. I'm like, go sleep it off. He's like, you don't understand. I got $80 in my pocket. I'm like, you better check your bank. So he gets on his phone. He did what I told him to. He said, I took 100 out. That explains the 80. But what was in the box with mustard? And how did I change my shoes? I'm like, oh my God, they've roofied him. He's been asleep driving all night. Go sleep it off. He's like, I used to be a New York cop, and you're pretty, and you want to go cuddle. And I'm like, you need to go sleep it off, because he don't talk to me like that when he's not under the influence of something. He's standing there talking and acting fine. It's just crap coming out of his mouth. I didn't tell him the second part, but I told him about what he said about a New York cop. He started laughing. He said, I don't remember saying that to you. I've talked to sheriffs out of this area. Those date rape drugs are so bad. They could have drugged up the people and told them to take down the towers. And they did what they were told with no memory. I've talked to other sheriffs. Are your local police slow? You're sleepwalking with that stuff under someone else's control. And the drug dealers were bragging they could control anyone. They could control anybody with those drugs. Like they don't know what a roofie is. Do you know even LSD in the 1960s? Hippies would get high, they'd hallucinate, walk around with no memory. Some of them killed themselves. Some of them got hurt, and they had no memory of what they were doing. My one friend lives out of state. He said one of his neighbors called. She had woke up in the middle of the night, and some naked man was walking around her living room talking like it was nothing. She called the police on him. They showed up, and he's standing there talking like it's nothing. Didn't even realize he was naked. And he's like, some crackhead that, you know what? I hope somebody didn't roof you. Strip him naked and stick him in that house. That'd be really mean. Because he didn't even know where he was. Because where does clothes go? The frats and universities used to do this to people, and it was like on 2020, drug people. I would tell them say something, stalk them in their home, Photoshop washing scenes, and one kid even killed himself. And they ended up, girls got raped with no memory, and they ended up, a lot of them going to jail. About 20 years ago. I remember, you talk to people my age, it's like, remember seeing stuff like that on 2020 primetime or specials? Yeah, we actually do. Frats used to pull this crap. Okay? Now, I want you to think, there's a right to privacy over your home. That retired judge would know that. Retired judges have no authority. They have no authority. Can't touch anything with a conflict of interest, or you gets thrown out and you go to jail for 10 years. Got any kind of title. He don't even have a title. He's retired. He has no authority. Dave told Danny, hire Pete on his own. He can't hire Pete on his own. My friend from the Stark County Prosecutor's Office, they used to work there, he said, I heard of a weird case of an officer surveillancing somebody on their own. And the guy found out, and the judge ripped him a new one. That man has a right to privacy. I could never look or listen. You knew better. Hold on. Than to ever be in that man's home. So would that retired judge, the right to privacy. He would know that. Okay? He would know that. He would know the right to privacy. See what I mean? That's where the Portage County Sheriff's, what these people did is illegal. It was none of our officers in your home, nor did we have any knowledge of it. And what these people did is illegal. I said, you couldn't look or listen. It's the Fourth Amendment. Yes. That's where Officer Reinhardt, even the FBI, would go to jail outside a protected light case with statements. And they can't even look or listen. It's illegal to. It's a right to privacy over a home, revenge a place, Constitution. Like my friend from the prosecutor's office, it's a fraud scheme. It took him like 30 seconds. Breaking in somebody's home, setting up button cameras, roofing them, lying, you have sodium pentothal reports, you got all the signs of being drug beat and raped, and no one's putting it together. Some sexual predator is violating you, and they're trying to frame you, and by photoshopping washing scenes. See, that's where even people were talking about with them drugging me up. They could have drugged me up and told me to do that, and then Photoshop that later instead of a shower scene. Just edited that back in the room. But like the sheriffs I talk to, everything's digital. They have a good enough computer and someone know what they're doing. They could Photoshop anything from words to sentences and then tape over. My neighbor, his son, actually edits movies for a living that you watch on TV. He has a special app in his phone. He does it on his phone, so he could do all that. Where I've talked to other officers or your local police law. Everything's digital. You can move scenes, you can change their clothes, you can make them naked, you can make them do stuff. Everything's Photoshopable if they have the technology to do it. That's why they made fun of the feds for falling for it June 7th, 23. Roofie confessions and a washing scene? And you fell for it by a drug scam? See, there's no such thing of anybody being in your home but a protected light case with statements like Officer Reinhardt Lewis. Until that agent took your statement and agreed to protect you, then the FBI couldn't be in your home. And you had to have statements of the threat of life. It's entrapment because you have a right to privacy and a right to an attorney. See what I mean? And nobody drugs anybody. So when you get back to where those agents were mocking me for some sexual predator stalking me and framing me. Now, if they did it just so that they could get their drug dealers, because they were lying, they had sodium pentothal reports, where the cops, the police officers that watched me from the protected custody case, wasn't funny, they said they had sodium pentothal. You can't get that stuff. You lie under it too, and it's lethal. It wasn't even funny, they said they had. So if they told that fed they had sodium pentothal reports, they were drugging me to get the truth out of me. Did he do this to get the big bad drug dealers? Because still there's no damn excuse. He fed me to a terrorist group and left me. Like my friend from the prosecutor's office, they can't even ask you to stay quiet. They're only police officers. It takes the sitting judge to put a gag order on you. That agent was only bullying you. And with his own confession, Dave told Danny, our son Danny, hired Pete on his own. His girlfriend's dad and drug friends. So how illegal is it? It's called peeking Tom tapes, voyeurism, and you listen to a sex offender. For saying you had set up button cameras watching me. That's 7 years of illegal monitoring. Automatic jail time. Peeking Tom tapes are not admissible in court. You go to jail for being a peeking Tom. let alone sex trafficking videos, altered or not, is 3 to 16 years. Then they admitted they did a shower scene. They were taping in the bathroom, so they obtained and dispensed kiddie porn of my grandkids using the bathroom. Drugs, human trafficking, rape, assault, attempt to murder. They confessed to life in federal. So with the laws the way they are and how insane their whole little stunt is, they should have been nailed to that agent's desk. Did he do this to go after the big bad drug dealers? Because him acting like a drunken cat in a bar, laughing at a rape victim that is being scammed. Being scammed by a sexual predator in a sextortion scheme. Andrew Arabic up there took people's pictures, photoshopped them, put them in whatever, and then tried to extort money. He got 15 years. So it's called sextortion. It's a federal crime. So where I tell that agent, someone told on me the night before at that church. Dave told me I need to talk to him. Norton Barberton police said it was the agent that called me back. So did the Canton police. They checked. Okay? Before I called him back. He's called me a liar. I tell him about the guy that threatened to knife me at Giant Eagle. He calls me a liar. I'm describing a known serial killer that already killed my one co-worker's family. Now he's coming after me. Okay? And they know what he looks like. And I'm telling him about him. And he's calling me a liar. And then I try to tell him you tried to kidnap me before. He calls me a liar. You say you're lying, I'll arrest you, and I'll put you in jail. Rah, 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 fine, whatever. Like a drunken cat instead of a cop. Then I tell him, then he yells out, you say you were faking yours. Like, it was a medication error. Documented in 2002. Proven in 2003 when I got better. When I got off those medications. I was fine. It was chemically induced by the wrong meds and false diagnoses. Like they said, it's medical malpractice. They were ripping you off and not getting drug kickbacks from the drug companies. It was really bad in the 2000s. People started like the opioid addiction, did unnecessary procedures and surgeries and killed people. Okay? Not all, and they were getting big drug kickbacks from the drug company. My doctor sat down and told us what they were doing. And it took 9 months of me pulling myself around and for the swelling to go down. For me to get well. Nothing to do with Lisa's craziness and her family. I have my own life, my own problems, and dealing with my own situation. I just went to a church. And her father being a show-off when I'm almost well by May. Almost well. Been driving, doing my own grocery shopping, my own house cleaning, my own house cooking. Even being able to walk outside with just braces waddling, going up and down the steps the same way. Practicing walking with nothing since March, February. So where are, come May, and I'm down to a 14, 16 from a 24 from all that swelling. And I'm almost well. And her father is an arrogant man and a rich man and a show-off. And he ran a stop sign in front of people into a semi. It's her father's damn fault. Because if he would have stopped at that stop sign, they'd both be alive. But he just blew through it, didn't even try to stop. And it killed them both. No more difference if he tried to beat a train and he got hit by a train. It was arrogant, stupid stuff. By July, I finally get better. A missionary showed up a few days before that, prayed for me, gave me a lecture about fighting through the pain, rebuking the pain. Been doing that for 9 months. Tried to walk by faith. Long-winded minister, fell backwards. It's like, forget it. Left with my canes. And it took me 4 more days for it to go into remission. The fibromyalgia, the muscles contracting. And I still fell for 2 more months. And it took me 4 months to get off the fentanyl. So nothing to do with nothing. And it took me 9 months in front of everybody. Even Strange Dave told them that they were taking me off all my meds and he thought it was morphine patches and muscle relaxers to get me out moving and I get better. He even knew. My mom told everybody. And that what I had a remission, it was just swelling. And then the medicine making everything shut down. Everybody knew that. That's how stupid all this is. And then I've been walking around the house practicing, for a good 6 months before I got well, maybe 7. So where do they have a right to even, I go to their church? Now, I get well in July, and that bastard, so cray-cray, where I got well in July, October, my sister Linda is married to his son, Tim, and Tim and Katie was having an affair for over a year. Linda called him out. She followed him several times. Had my mom, my sister. He's definitely having an affair. She's not going to say anything because Strange would always threaten to take your kids if you try to leave your husband. But she kept following him. It's like, they're cheating. Stay out of it. If you're not going to say something, stay out of it. But she came up to me. I was following him again. I got caught. I think they thought it was you. Be careful. I'm sorry. I'm like, great. Well, 4 days later in October, 4 months after I got well, he made up that shitty lie. That shitty lie. They all fell for it. They had watched me over 9 months get well. But they believed it because he said it because of mindless boobs. I found out later on, he even changed it to make it juicier, that I was supposed to have stood up in the middle of the funeral and yell, God heal me, and start walking around. I'm like, my God, that never happened. For one thing, I got my fentanyl patches refilled in June. Why would I do that in June if I did that? Huh? Because the bastard was lying to you. He just lied on everyone, from Dave White blasting God, trying to kill himself, and all he did is go to another church. He lied on everybody, was cheating on everybody. He controlled that place with fear and lies. He was a low-educated occult leader. Huh? And Lisa's a psycho bitch. A psycho bitch. I have nothing to do with her. Don't even go to church with her. That man made up a lie in October of 2003. It is 2018, and they have their fentanyl king from Texas. They have his men show up, drug, beat, rape me, try to kill me. 2017, 2018, probably the 2017 were the attempts on my life. And then they all swarm Ohio in 2018, and thousands have died. Because she hired the men from Texas, the fentanyl king, said his men had ties across the nation. And that's where Florida showed up, Michigan, New York, California, and brought the cartels here to swarm Ohio. For we work for the king from Texas. He's a drug lord. Oh, he was like one of the biggest ones in the United States. He was that big. Iraqi, dark web, malware. This was child's play to him. Child's play. Dark web. Military. This was child's play. I want you to think about that. That's who she hired. Where they all showed up, even the cops. We all seen those men say they worked for the king from Texas. He was a drug lord. Who's the king? He's a fentanyl king. That's who they hired. That's why thousands have died since 18. So, October 22nd, 23. Coles. Middle-aged couple in there. Went to Lisa. Was she getting well? Said it was a medication error. Was she getting well for a while before she got well? Yes. Nobody even thought anything of it when she finally got well. Till Strange said they were faking. And when Strange said they were faking, they decided to kill her. 15 years later! I don't even have nothing to do with them. They hunted me down. I have nothing to do with them. I don't even go to church with them. 15 years later on a lie. Psycho bitch. So they hired those men to drug, beat, and rape her, and to do all those things to her. And they knew the ones they hired to come here and do those things were killing other people. If they knew they were killing other people, you better stay out of this. He said, I know. And Dave and her got a divorce, and they're mad at the woman he married. I bet she's 25, Filipino, and not apostolic. He's living a drug lord life, honeymooning in Tokyo. We could never afford that. Now, she confessed. Somebody gonna arrest her? They were talking about Akron. That girl confessed. She hired those people to show up, and it was witnessed by an officer. Oh, I bet. I wouldn't be surprised if her phone wasn't tapped from the protected custody case. They're the main subjects. They at least got a cop following them. Took them long enough to confess. They were screaming, what was it, Monday or Tuesday out on Turquoise Street in Canton? Oh my goodness, we looked it up. That Lisa confessed. She hired those people to drug, beat, and rape her and do all those things. And she knew they were killing people. Nobody say a word. Psycho bitch. Who the hell has somebody drug, beat, and raped? Who the hell has somebody stalked, photoshopped, roofied? Huh? And told to say stuff. Sold on porn sites. And hire serial killers. She's psycho. Is someone going to do their job and arrest her? Or they have a list. They're going to do it tomorrow. They're going to do it tomorrow. I want you to think of that. They have a list. Thousands have already died. It's her fault they were here. She knew they were killing other people. Somebody going to do their job and arrest her? I'm going to upload this.